couple sessions, and part 2 of our discussion about breeches, twins, and automobiles with Marisa Callahan. So, Marisa, you had 2 kids pretty close together.
17 months apart.
Which is pretty close together.
Yeah.
And did you guys have a plan on how many you wanted to have altogether?
My husband jokes that I originally wanted 3, but then went to 4 so that we could settle for 3.
Settle for 3.
Yeah, because he really wanted 2. So.
Oh, he wanted 2 and you wanted 3?
No, I really wanted 3. He did not want 3. So then I talked about having 4.
Oh, you said you wanted 4.
Yeah, so that we could.
So that you can compromise
meet in the
on
middle and have 3.
Yeah.
Which is what I wanted.
The art of negotiation. Ask for more than you want.
Yeah, so.
So you wanted 4 and he wanted 2. And so even having a third pregnancy for him was, how'd you convince him?
Just
sparkling wine.
Was it sparkling wine? A can of sparkling wine?
Maybe. Presto.
Presto. And Presto. Presto.com.
Yeah, I think after just long conversations, I finally convinced him. And so we decided to just go for it. And we kind of were like, okay, let's try for a couple of months. If it doesn't happen, then let's close the doors.
Oh, okay.
But we were 3 for 3, which we're very grateful about. We get pregnant very easily, which is nice.
And how long after your second was born were you pregnant again?
She was 2.5.
Okay, so you have bigger space.
Bigger space, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And did you know you were pregnant from a pregnancy test?
Yeah, so I took a pregnancy test. I know I'm pregnant, like, the second I'm pregnant. I don't even really need to take pregnancy tests. My body
changes?
Yeah, just all of a sudden.
What do you feel?
So the first one and the second one, not with the third one, but the first and second, I started drooling.
Oh.
In the middle of the night. It's so weird.
Is that a known pregnancy symptom?
I have not heard of that one.
I haven't heard of it before.
And I've never found it.
I never found it either. I never heard of it.
But both of them, I would like drool.
Mm-hmm. So if Ezra ever wakes up in the middle of the night and you're drooling, he's like, "Oh crap!
Here we go again."
Oh no!
There's just more dryness, so the body creates more saliva to make up for it.
That makes sense.
I've heard of mouth dryness in pregnancy, so your body's just probably overcompensated.
It's effective.
Yeah,
it works.
The third one, I didn't have any of the drooling, or maybe I did, just didn't notice it in the middle of the night. But I, all of a sudden started feeling, nauseous and just, not myself. And I was like, oh, gosh, I think I'm pregnant again. Wow, it happened again the first time.
Right away.
Right away, yeah. Yeah.
So how soon after that do you go in to verify with your doctor?
So with this pregnancy, so around week 5, which was it was about 7 days after I took the pregnancy test, or maybe 8 days after I took the pregnancy test, I started feeling cramping. And in my mind, I was like, okay, I'm probably going to miscarry. I just had this feeling from the beginning that this pregnancy, I was going to miscarry. I don't know why. I just had this, overwhelming feeling.
Just felt different than the other two?
Yeah, and I think maybe I also...
No drool, lots of cramping.
I also was like, how could we get pregnant 3 for 3? That's crazy. How could this happen? I feel like something needs to happen. Where I don't know.
Your luck was too good.
Yeah,
we don't deserve this.
Maybe I don't know. That's just how I was just feeling that. So I started getting this cramping. I was like, this doesn't feel right. This doesn't feel normal. And went in and got an ultrasound, and my OB. It wasn't actually my OB. It was a random OB, because in Kaiser you kind of.
Whoever's there.
Start, because you're vaginal, waving the wand around.
Right, transvaginal ultrasound. Yeah.
And definitely goes quiet. And so I was like, okay, I feel like definitely this is going to be a miscarriage. I'm not bleeding, but she's going to tell me I miscarried. And she was like, so I need to tell you something, and I don't think you're going to hear anything after I tell you. But there are 3, possibly 4 sacs.
Oh, my.
And I was like, what?
Oh,
babies?
My goodness.
4 babies?
Was your husband with you?
No.
You're just by yourself?
By myself.
Well, you and the 4 kids.
By myself, yeah. We had rented a house in Malibu, so I drove from Malibu. We were doing a summer staycation in Malibu, so I drove from Malibu all the way to Pasadena by myself.
Oh wow!
To go and get just a simple, what I thought was going to be like a simple checkup. And yeah, so she was like, I need to take a second to look around. Again, like, you're probably not going to hear anything I'm about to say. Totally understand. And I freaked. I was like,
How could you not freak?
I definitely was crying a lot that next, like, 10, 15 minutes.
What kind of crying, though? Like shock
Just
crying
like-
or fear crying or
Yeah,
sad crying?
all of the above. I was like, how can I take care of 3 or 4 babies? Like,
And you already have 2
my
babies.
husband is going to kill me.
Right, he only
I
wanted
already
2.
convinced him to have one more. Yeah, and just like, how can I carry that many babies? Like, I'm 5'2", 120 pounds. Like, there's no way I can carry all those babies. Like, they can't fit in my belly. There's no way.
I can carry all this baby.
All of these, like, just overwhelming thoughts of like, no, this can't be true. Like, she's totally lying. Yeah, so after she looked around, she was like, there's 3. There's not 4, there's 3.
Yeah, already down one.
And she said baby A and baby C look really great and healthy, are measuring at 5 weeks 1 day. And baby B, who's like in the middle, is measuring around 4 weeks. And she was like, it looks a little abnormal. And she kind of explained that usually there's like this white ring around the sac, and that's usually indicates that it's healthy. And there was no white ring around that sac. But she also said that I guess embryo, right? Embryo at the time,
Yeah.
because it wasn't a fetus yet. Embryo could have implanted a week later.
So
Like,
it could be just younger than the
could have been younger.
older 2
Yeah.
siblings.
And only time would tell,
Right.
was basically what she said.
Wow.
And she was like, I'll see you in a week.
What did you do? How do you even leave there? When did you call your
I
husband?
was
Did you call him
shocked.
or did you drive
I called
home?
my husband on the way home, and he was just like, what?
You're driving on Bluetooth and talking about
Yes, about how I have
we're gonna have 3 more kids.
triplets.
And how did he react? I'm in shock.
He was like, no, this, like, no way. Like, what do you mean? I mean, yeah, he was shocked.
You were all in shock.
We were shocked, yeah, shocked.
Wow. Okay.
So scared.
Please make me wake up. Please
Yes,
make me wake
like,
up.
this is a dream.
Did you tell anyone else, or did you keep it just the 2 of you? Did you?
I
talk
did
to your
tell other.
parents, your
Yeah, I
friends?
have these 3 really great mom friends. Our oldest they all met in this really great Mommy and Me class when they were 5 or 6 months old, and I feel like they're my people. And I like called them that afternoon and told them, and they were all shocked and like, oh my God. What is happening?
Yeah.
It's shocking news.
And I told my mom, obviously.
You sounded like even just surprised that you were pregnant at all
I thought I was
on
going to
your
miscarry.
pregnancy test. And you thought the news, like, after I tell you this, you're not going to hear anything. You thought she was going to say, there's no baby in there.
Yeah, and then there's 3.
And then there were 3. Mm-hmm. Okay, so next visit?
So yeah, everything was fine until week 9. So I went in every single week. So it was triplets, high risk pregnancy. I was still seeing my normal OB. I didn't go to the high risk doctor as of yet because they wait until after the first trimester.
Okay.
Because things could happen, like miscarriages. So week 9 went in, and again, random OB that I was seeing, and she was like, I don't think I see a heartbeat for baby B. And she was like, but I need to get a second opinion. So second opinion came in, and they were kind of like, I don't know if I can see it. There might be one, there might not be. So they had a third person come in.
Well, at this point, are you attached to them, or are you still hoping, like, no?
It was a very mixed feelings, like lots of emotions going on. I definitely was like, I cannot take care of 3 babies. But I also, I mean, it was a miscarriage. There was no attachment. I felt like I was going to miscarry from the beginning, so I felt like I kind of had already grieved that baby, or whatever, a baby. I felt like I was going to miscarry, and I think that made things easier. I really wasn't sad, and I wasn't happy. It was kind of just, okay, so there's twins.
Right.
Let's okay, now there's twins.
It's a nice parting gift, you know.
Yeah, so it kind of was like, let's move forward. Okay, we have twins now. We have
Practical,
baby A
again.
and baby C.
Yeah. So baby B turned out to not thrive.
Yeah, mm-hmm.
Did they have to do anything or just dissolve?
No, yeah, so I was like, what happens? And they were like, well, we can't take it out, and you're probably not going to bleed or anything. Like, it'll probably absorb. And I was like, what does that even mean?
Yeah,
And they were like, it just will kind of like disintegrate into your blood and into the sacs or into the other sacs maybe, and it'll just absorb.
Right.
Or it could stay, they said. And we actually did see the sac until about week 20.
Oh, wow. Halfway through.
Yeah, and then the babies got
disappeared?
too big and you just couldn't find it anymore.
So you saw the sac, but it wasn't growing.
It was not growing, yeah, and you could just see like little particles like kind of floating around. So the fetus at that point, because it was a fetus, we did hear the heartbeat for about 4 weeks.
Oh, wow.
And
Is
Each
that when-
baby had their own placenta.
own placenta and own sacs.
All three?
Yeah, all three, yeah.
Is that when you sometimes, like, a twin comes out and has, like, a piece of the other twin somewhere?
I
like,
think so.
Like a little bone in their head
My
or
big
something
fat Greek
like
wedding, right?
Right. Oh, yeah.
I ate my twin.
Yeah. I think that is what happened, yeah.
But you don't see any. Anyway, well, let's move forward. So at 20 weeks now, you're down to healthy twins.
Healthy twins, yeah, that were growing.
How did it feel just being pregnant with twins versus being pregnant with one?
It was definitely just a lot more. Like, I was more uncomfortable. I gained more weight. My back hurt more.
You went to the chiropractor more.
I went to the chiropractor.
I love twins.
I went and saw you all the time. My feet were so swollen.
Oh, they did swell a lot.
Oh my gosh, I couldn't wear any of my shoes. I had to wear my husband's sandals.
Oh, that's sweet.
Basically all of his clothes. Like my pregnancy clothes from the other two did not fit at
I
all.
remember you wearing his clothes. If you do, because
was
otherwise,
like
he has some
t-shirts.
nice dresses.
Muumuus.
Yeah.
I was huge. It was just everything felt more.
But you still look like, just you, just a little bigger.
Yeah.
Like pregnant you, which is the you I'm used to.
Yeah.
And just a little bigger, you know what I mean? Like you still,
Yeah, I mean,
it didn't seem to slow you down that much.
all 4 babies, I gained 30 pounds. Exactly.
All four,
I
all
gained 60
three,
pounds.
All
oh,
3
four-
pregnancies.
what? All 3 pregnancies.
Yeah, all 4, like each baby gained 30 pounds.
Oh, I see what
each
you're saying.
baby,
So you gained
added
double
30 pounds.
In the
So yeah,
last
the third
pregnancy.
pregnancy, I gained 60 pounds, which was double what I gained with the others.
Okay, so did you start to formulate a birth plan for twins?
Yes, yeah. So with twins, in most, like 99% of the hospitals, you cannot deliver vaginally unless baby A, which is the baby closest to your cervix, is head down.
Right.
Some doctors will deliver vaginal if baby A is head down and B is breeched. They will pull baby A head out and then they will pull the feet out of baby B, but only certain doctors will do it.
Right.
So that's an option.
Because the door's already open. So
The
with,
door's
with
open,
breaches, we're worried about the extra risks that you sometimes have with breaches are that the baby will come out, the whole baby will come out, but the head won't be able to get through, or that the cord will come out first. So there's ways to prevent the cord from, to mitigate, make sure that the cord's not going to come out first. But in terms of the baby getting stuck, if you have 2 babies and baby A is bigger or the same size as baby B and the door's already open, then the baby B is not going to get stuck.
Yeah.
So
But some
many
doctors
doctors
won't do it.
Some have no training on breech at all. So it's so scary to them because we stopped teaching it in 2001. It's so scary to them they just don't, they're not comfortable. I wouldn't want them to do it because they don't have the knowledge, the skill, and the comfort with it. But at Kaiser, they have some of each.
Yes.
Some doctors who are
Yes,
comfortable and some
yes.
who aren't. You just never know who's going to be there.
Exactly.
So it's sort of like if you have the baby Monday, Wednesday, or Friday, you can have a vaginal birth, but Tuesday, Saturday, or Sunday.
Exactly. Yeah, you kind of get
C-section, and
who you're gonna
also
get.
they have great turkey roll on Wednesday.
It's true.
Yeah. We are going to take a quick commercial break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. So, but that's what they told you, that you can do twin vaginal birth as long as at least baby A's head down.
Yes. And the doctor that is on call is familiar with breech if the
Right.
baby B was breech.
Well, otherwise both of them have to be head down.
Head down, yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, cool. Let's get these babies head down. my babies did not want to go head down.
They did not.
They did not.
Who was Breech first?
Baby A is always Breech.
Right.
From the moment they like start checking, which I don't even know when that is, like 26 weeks or something, somewhere around there.
Because you were on ST, you were high risk.
High risk. So I was going every 2 weeks. But yeah, she was always Breech, which was like, oh, seriously, come on, baby A.
Yeah, we did things to try to shift
We
that,
did.
but nada.
Yeah, and I did everything to the moon and back to try and get that baby.
What other things besides what we did?
My husband's gonna laugh. I literally every single night put a bag of peas on the top of my belly
Oh, frozen.
and some warm rice. You know those like warm rice things?
Oh, a warm pad.
Yeah,
at
put
the
it on the bottom of my belly, and I'd go to sleep like that. I did moxa, which is, if anyone knows in like the Eastern medicine world, if you do acupuncture, it's like this. It basically looks like a cigar, and you light it, and it has herbs, and you put it on your left and right pinky toe.
Right. You're warming up acupuncture points instead of needling them.
Yes, yeah. So
And
I would sit in
stimulates
my
movement.
bed and put it on my pinky toes. Which my husband was not a
Nothing
huge
weird.
fan of.
Yeah.
He was always complaining that it smelled like cheap pot in our house.
Yeah, it does kind of smell like marijuana and sage got together and had a baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was doing, I was doing all the like spinningbabies.com things. I don't know. It's like this website. Yeah, so I was like,
Those must have been hard with twins.
cat, all
Those
these like
positions.
Yes, I did
Leaning
not.
off the couch.
Inversions and stuff?
Yeah, I didn't
Wow.
do those very often because they were so uncomfortable, but I tried very hard to do them.
You really did everything. to get
I
the
was doing
babies.
everything. I saw Susan Minnick, which is like supposedly the best in turning babies. She has her own acupuncture,
She's a midwife at Kaiser
and
as
she
well.
is also a midwife at Kaiser, which ended up being amazing knowing her because she knew this one doctor who was able to deliver Breech.
So as you got closer and closer and the babies weren't turning, with baby A not head down, almost nobody at Kaiser at least will deliver you vaginally.
Yeah,
Even though your first two babies just sort of popped out.
yeah, no one, and my like no one was going to be able to do that. As of what I knew,
And your insurance, it only covers Kaiser.
only covers yeah.
So you can't, there are other doctors in town who would do it, but you couldn't really go to them, or you have to pay for that doctor in
Yeah, there's
hospital out of
two,
pocket.
I think, at Cedars.
Yeah, there's two at Cedars-Sinai, and then there's one at St. Francis. And since you already had multiple smooth vaginal births, there's a handful of others who would do it as well. But slim pickings, and at Kaiser, just one guy.
Yeah, so I found out that there was one guy, and that was from actually Susan Minnick, who told me about Dr. Monroe. And I had never heard of him and was like, who is this guy? Like, I need to become friends with him. So I ended up, because in Kaiser, how it works is you cannot just randomly email a doctor. You can't just be like, hey, Dr. Monroe, can I come see you? You have to be referred to a doctor. And my high-risk doctor would not refer me to him because that's just not how it goes.
It's outside of policy.
Yeah, so I researched him and found this old random UCLA email address on Google.
No way.
Yeah.
Super sleuth.
Inspector Gadget.
Inspector. And emailed him thinking there's no way this was like, he had to have gone to UCLA like years ago. There's no way he still uses this like education website, like no, our email address. There's no way. And he emailed me back the next day, which I was incredibly surprised about and super grateful. And he was like, I'm so sorry about how this has to go. Sorry, I'm like...
Yeah, no problem.
Okay.
Drooling? Uh-oh.
He was like, I'm happy to work with you. I know you're a high-risk doctor. I'll talk to him, and I will definitely deliver your baby's Breech.
Oh, wow. That must have been refreshing.
Super refreshing.
But
Yeah.
deliver them Breech, but he can't be on call for you.
Yeah, so he basically was like, I only work in the hospital 2 days in the month of March, and The first date, I know, right? The
Wow.
first date was too early. So it was around 34 weeks. And he was like, we cannot induce you that early. You have to be at least 37 weeks for me to induce you.
Oh, wow.
And he was like,
you don't even always make it to 37 weeks
I
with
know,
twins.
yeah. So he's like, my second date is at 37 weeks, 1 day, according to your due date. And if you're still pregnant, I will be happy to induce you and we'll deliver your baby's breech.
Wow.
So
That's a lot of pressure. You have to make it that
I have to
far.
make it that far.
So are you doing the opposite of what everybody else does? Usually at the end of pregnancy, they're
Yeah,
like walking a lot, eating spicy
Having
food,
sex,
having sex.
go
Are
to
you
the
like,
valley,
honey,
get
don't
the
even
salad."
look at me,
Yeah,
don't
none
talk
of
to me,
that.
don't say you love me.
Yeah, definitely. None of that.
No
Yeah.
salad.
Don't do the salad.
No,
Yeah,
no
no, I was
walking.
trying
I'm
to keep
just going to
them in.
sit here with my legs crossed.
I was definitely trying to. I mean, and I wanted them to be in there as long as possible.
And it wasn't that
obviously.
long ago. We're talking about 12 weeks ago.
Yeah.
But it was like, I remember myself waking up every day wondering, oh my God, I hope she's not having contractions, you know?
Yeah. So I made it.
Because if you didn't make it to the next time he came in, it was basically an automatic
An
cesarean.
automatic C-section.
Unless they were coming so quickly, which in your case might have happened.
that
then.
could have happened. That was like my goal.
to have a baby sort of hanging butt out of you.
Exactly. Like
As
it
you
would be
walk
too
in.
fast, and they would be like, "Well, there's nothing else we can do besides just deliver these babies
Just
breech."
catch them. Yeah.
Well, did you do anything mentally to try to keep the babies in?
I was like, I had this like daily like. It was March 28th, so like March 28th, you got to stay in there on March 28th. Like it was
Yeah.
just kind of like, you guys just got to stay in there.
Talking to them.
Yeah.
And visualizing that date.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like March 28th is the day.
So you made it to March 20th.
I made it to, and
Were you excited in the morning? Like
I was super excited. So I actually
excited
went
for
on
you.
March 27th. They had me check in at midnight.
at a wedding
Yeah, you were at a
that
wedding.
night. And again, I was sort of texting you. I'm like, okay, I'm here if you need me.
Yeah.
It was so interesting. Okay, yeah. So March, and then what time was his shift?
So he came on call at 5 p.m. and he was only on call for 12 hours. Typically, they're on call for 24.
No
but he
pressure.
was leaving to go out of town the next day, so he had only a 12-hour shift. So I had literally 12 hours to deliver these babies.
Wow.
No pressure.
No pressure at all. And they had made check-in the night before, and I was like, guys, like, I got really fast deliveries. Like, I don't think I need
Don't
to check
touch me.
in. Yeah,
Don't
like,
touch me.
I want to check in at, like, noon and, like, break
Even
my...
then, I would have been worried about it. Noon to 5
Yeah.
for you?
Yeah, so they had me check in the night before, and luckily the OBs on call that night they knew Dr. Monroe, they knew about my plan, and they were totally on board with it, and they were like, we're not going to touch you. Why don't you and your husband just go to sleep? I'll come in around 5 in the morning, and we'll put in the Foley balloon, which will, because at that point I was 1 centimeter. I was not dilated.
But we know you. You go from 1 to 10 and like...
I was a little nervous, but
Your one
they-
is everyone else's like 8.5.
I know. Yeah, so they put the Foley balloon in at 5 a.m. and we kind of just hung out. We watched movies, no contractions throughout the day.
Luckily.
And yeah. And the nurse came in around 1 p.m. and kind of, like, you pull it taut. Like, I don't know. Do you guys know what the Foley balloon is?
Yeah.
It's like a balloon in your cervix and it slowly dilates you and you have this like tube coming out and it's straps to
water
your
in it.
leg.
Has water in it.
And then they pull it taut every like a couple hours to
To
try
give
and
you a
just,
little more dilation.
Wait, yeah.
so they were pulling and all of a sudden it was like pop.
Oh, but your water broke?
No, so the
Oh,
Foley
the thing
balloon
popped
Her
out.
cervix was more dilated.
just
so it
came out. Yeah,
Popped out.
so when it
wasn't-
comes out,
You weren't holding it in anymore.
yeah, so it comes out and they say it's supposedly you're 4 centimeters at that time. Like the balloon is 4 centimeters big, and that's how big your cervix is. So the midwife came in and checked me, and I was 4 centimeters.
Open, yeah.
And at that point, it
What
was
time was that?
1 p.m.
Oh,
so I had
gosh,
4
jeez.
hours until he was on call.
It's
He
so
was-
hair-raising.
He was actually across the street doing research, and he was texting the OB on call. And at that point, he was like, if something happens, I can run over.
Oh, wow.
So once I heard that, I was like, all right, we got this. Like,
Come on, babies.
I'm going to have these babies breech. It's going to be amazing. I just felt like super confident. Like,
No fear?
I was really excited. I was like, we're going to do this. So nothing happened from 1 to 5, like no contractions really, nothing.
Oh, you behaved.
Yeah. And he came in and I had never met him before and he was like
That was
everything.
your first time meeting him in person?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And he was awesome. It was everything that I needed. He was like light and refreshing and funny and was like,
That's second year med school is comedy.
really?
Oh.
Yeah, and he was like, he was so confident, and he was just like, we're going to do this. Like, let's get the party started. Like, what do you want to do next? Like, how do you want to get...
What do you mean, what do you want to do next?
Well, like, Pitocin, whatever. So I was
let's
like...
have cake.
Here's the menu.
Yeah. And I
sparkling
was like,
wine.
let's break my water. I know that things happen quickly after I break my water. But with first birth, it didn't happen that way. But the second, it did.
Yeah.
So I was like, let's just do that. And then we got to get these babies out in 24 hours. But we didn't do it in the 12. So let's just, yeah. So he's like, okay, let's do it. So
He broke your water.
he had his midwife come in. And
Was it Susan or a different midwife?
she wasn't on call. She was in Vancouver. And yeah, so it was one of the maid residents that was there. So she broke my water. And she actually was the one who mainly delivered the babies.
Oh.
So,
Was it her first time doing breeches?
oh yeah. So that was really
Do you get
cool.
extra people in the room when it's because I know at Cedars,
Oh, yeah.
if the mom's open to it. Last time I did a breech there,
Everybody
we
and
had
their
like
cousin.
20 plus people.
Oh no, there were 30 plus in
Oh
my
my!
room. In that tiny, maybe 7x7
Were you aware of it all?
old room.
Like,
Oh yeah. So people asked me
and you were okay with
to
it?
come, and I said, sure, like more the merrier. This should be like a teaching experience.
Did you film it?
I filmed it.
Ooh.
Yeah, which is really cool. I can send it to you
I want
guys.
to see it. Yeah.
I want to see it.
Yeah. Yeah, so they broke my water, and an hour and a half later, they basically came.
Were you medicated and
Yes.
for pain?
So
Epidural?
I had an epidural, and that was required.
You finally got your epidural
I got my epidural. That was required by the
for
doctor.
the twins
So it's
because they were breech.
They were breech, and he, just in case I had to go to C-section, didn't
wanted
want me
to
to have
just
to go
be-
under.
Yeah.
And he told me what he had to do to get the boy, baby B, out. He basically told me, and he had this hand motion of I have to stick my entire arm
Up to the elbow.
up to your basically shoulder.
Oh wow!
And break his water and find his feet,
Yeah.
both of his feet, and pull him out.
That sounds like a moment sponsored by the epidural.
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
whatever you say. And he was like,
Yeah.
I need you to stay calm, and it's going to be really painful, and it'll be way better if you have the epidural during that one maneuver.
And was the people watching, were they like excited?
Yeah, it was definitely
A
exciting.
lot of excitement in the
There
room.
was so much
had a
excitement.
village.
Nurses were asking to come in and watch more residents and OBs.
That's what it was. I remember coaching this mom because she was unmedicated. In her case, there was no time, actually. It was one breech, not two. But she went from 5 to 10 very quickly. So I was talking to her, coaching her. She blinded us a bat without her glasses, so she couldn't even see that people were coming into the room. I was a little stunned. I turned around at 1 minute to see the doctor. This is Dr. Brock at Cedars, and there were so many people. I was like, where did you all come from? It was Sunday morning at 2:30 in the morning. And I'm looking at their clothing. I'm like, you can sort of tell who's who. Like, you're a resident, you're an attending, you're like a pediatric nurse. I think there were 2 Helpful Honda guys in there.
Yeah,
like, everybody was in the room, just in case. And it was just amazing. And then sort of when the baby came out, there was applause. It was like, oh my God, he did it.
Yeah.
Because they'd never seen it before.
It's really
Well,
special.
it's a moment in time that they might not ever see again either.
It's really special.
Well, let's hope that's not true.
Yeah, let's hope.
Amen.
So breech. Was there a
Breech,
lot of
breech.
time in between?
4 minutes.
Oh, quick. He did that shoulder
He did the maneuver
quickly.
really fast. Yeah, it was. Yeah, I remember looking at him and thinking, "Oh no, is this not going to happen?" Because I didn't see panic in his eyes, but he was very focused, doing whatever he needed to do to break that water and grab.
But he was comfortable the whole time. This is
He
stuff
was
he's done
totally
this
comfortable.
many
But
times.
in my mind, I was like, "Oh gosh,
going on?
this looks really tricky." Whatever he's doing, my body was shaking because he was trying to grab. Yeah.
Wow. How was recovery from that?
So the easiest out of
Really?
all 3 pregnancies. Yeah, I didn't tear with any of them. But this, I think, is just maybe because it was the third.
And they're smaller. How big were they?
So the baby girl, Samara, she was 5 pounds 7 ounces, and Silas, baby B, was 4 pounds 3 ounces.
Wow.
So he was little.
Small.
Yeah. So he went straight to the NICU.
How are they now at 12 weeks?
They're good. They're chunky and rolly and
You have 4
gaining-
kids under the age of 4.
I know.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it is busy
And
at
you're
my
like-
house.
Metal, please.
I know, seriously. We have
Do the
this.
slow clap right now.
We should do a
Trophy
slow
for
clap
you.
to my husband at home, putting 4 kids to bed.
Right now. Does he have little cans of
bless his
sparkling
heart.
wine as well? Or is it just you?
It's just me.
All right. Fascinating stories, all of them. Thank you so
you.
much. I can't even wait to see what happens with your next
So
pregnancy.
beautiful.
No, shop's closed.
Too bad, because I'm sure it would be a good story. I want to thank everyone. First of all, Tuso, tell me where we can find you online. I forgot to ask.
Oh, I'm at laborwlove.com.
Labor? W?
Love.com.
Love.com.
Company name is Labor with Love.
Oh,
by
Labor with
Tusa
Love.
Benji.
Oh, I love that.
So, because, people can hire you for lots of different things, but for birth when they're having babies, but also you will now train doulas.
I now train doulas, absolutely, through DONA.
So if you want to be my doula sister, you can train with a doula.
Email me, call me. I'm online. You'll find me there.
Text, Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat.
All of it.
Dig, Delicious,
Instagram.
Reddit, Stumble Upon, Instagram, Flipagram. I don't know
Thank
what
you.
any of those are, especially Snapchat. What's
Right.
the little ghost scares me.
Those are scary when they swap the faces, especially when it's like the dad and the baby. That is some freaky.
I aged out at Snapchat.
Yeah, my 14-year-old does it as well.
And Nicole,
scary.
you have so many different things that you offer. Reiki,
Yeah.
yoga. I want to try Reiki.
Okay,
Never done it.
let's do a trade. My back's a little
I'll
funky
totally
anyways.
trade.
Okay, cool.
And
She'll
then,
throw in a V-stem.
I don't know. I'm not that adventurous, though.
Nice, Tusa. Good call back.
I do different types of herbal medicine. And then your yoni
Yoni Throne.
throne.
Yes, the vaginal steam stool.
Dot me.
Yes. YoniThrone.me.
Is all your other stuff at that website
Nope.
too? No, you have
if,
another website.
For birth doula stuff, I'm lovebloomBirth.com.
Oh, that's why that was taken.
Yeah.
LovebloomBirth.com.
Yeah, it's mine.
Thank you so much for joining us. And Marisa, thank you for coming and sharing your stories with us and with other people. I think they're really inspiring. And if you want to find out more and get some behind-the-scenes details and maybe even photos, visit informedpregnancy.com.